our camera on the left-hand side, you see a police baton. It appears that the police are holding our camera, but we can't be sure exactly what's happening.
For those of you just joining us right now, I just want to make clear the CNN legal department is now involved trying to get our crew.
Okay, guys, CNN. I actually am going to show you guys what CNN. The crew is getting arrested right now by CNN.
You saw him taken into custody and arrested
Oh,
on
shit, I didn't want to do that.
television. Producer Bill Kirkus, you saw him taken into custody, arrested on live.
I have that recorded for you guys.
Leon Mendez, you saw his camera being taken away and him being taken into custody. And what you just saw there, I think the police finally realized that our camera was still taking pictures live. Oh, there it is again. That's our camera being taken into custody right now on live television. We also have two security agents. I don't think I'm going to name them.
Okay, I'm going to
Check
put
their identities at this point. That's the picture on the right.
Okay, guys. I'm going to see what I can do here, guys, for you guys. This is from CNN News. I might be a little too bright, guys, but yeah, the CNN crew just got arrested, guys, about 10 minutes ago. We're trying to get the feed in. I don't think I can. I'm not going to room do this, but just stand by, guys.
Yeah. That was Omar. On the right-hand side of your screen, that was the moment that we were all confused, and Omar, our correspondent, was being taken into custody, handcuffed, and since then, our crew has also been taken into custody. We've lost communication with our photographer who had been on a cell phone telling us what was happening. Our camera on the left-hand side, that's a live shot of our CNN camera that is on the move. We assume it's in the hands of police. I can see a police baton at times in that shot. We don't know where they're taking our camera.
Okay, guys.
Our legal
I think the
team
problem
is handling where they've taken our crew.
I'll be taking this CNN, guys. We're going to go to my room now to watch CNN.
I have to say, Allison, it's just extraordinary that this happened at all. Equally extraordinary that our camera is being taken into police custody and is still.
That's Atlanta government. You can't take Atlanta government. That's Atlanta. That's CNN property. You can't steal CNN. Okay, guys, this is CNN Live. I've been on now. CNN just got arrested. Give me a minute, guys. Here, we will keep this on until YouTube copyrights me. But yeah. Okay, guys, I'm gonna put this. I gotta do some quick here. I gotta patch this into Facebook. If I had it, I'm gonna send to our friends. I can send it to Facebook.
Chief Ramsey is still with us. I'm just going to tell people on the left-hand side. I'm listening to the command. We're not going to go there. There's something to go on the left-hand side is our live camera that is still on the move. We assume it is now in police custody after our CNN crew was arrested inexplicably for just doing their job. And covering protests, obviously, this is sort of a standard assignment.
Our computer just got okay. For what, 40 years now, right? Okay, here, guys, go. We're back on CNN now. This is ridiculous, guys. CNN is getting arrested. Here we go. Here's the feed, guys. Hope you doesn't strike me. But yeah, the police just arrested reporters and stuff. I have a video of it 5 seconds ago. This happening. This is live footage, guys, from CNN Atlanta.
The police precinct was
Like I said, guys, this is from CNN.
on fire. Police evacuated from that precinct. As Omar was telling us, for hours on the ground, they saw no police presence from about 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. And then at 5 a.m., he watched a line of state police show up. They dispersed whichever lingering protesters had been hanging around. Omar had described it overnight as mayhem without police. And then they arrested our CNN crew. I mean, all of this is just, obviously demands a lot of answers.
Well, obviously, command and control is lacking. I mean, it's an issue. One of the things when you're planning your response to a major protest or event like you had in Minneapolis, one of the things you talk about is media. Where do you want them to be? Where are you going to put them? And usually your PIO or someone like that is the person who's in charge of that. And as long as they cooperate, which clearly he was cooperating, you just move them along. I don't understand this at all. Now, last night with the police station burning, I mean, that caught people off guard. they did the right thing by getting people out of there so no one would at least be harmed. I don't know why they did not respond last night during the fires. Maybe they didn't have sufficient resources. Fire department will not go to a scene not secured. So that's not surprising at all. But obviously that presents a problem because of the major fires, the possibility of it spreading and all that kind of thing. But what I just saw now shows me, or tells me anyway, that, you know, there's
Okay, guys, on the right, on the
at that scene.
right here is what the camera's catching right now, and this is, I don't know, older footage, not sure.
At all.
But we do have
And it was totally unnecessary.
CNN just got arrested. The crew did, so I don't know what's going on here, guys.
Bring people up to speed as to what they're seeing.
So what you're seeing is what I'm seeing.
Live pictures from South Minneapolis, where buildings have burned all night, including the police precinct there. On the left-hand side of your screen is a CNN camera, which is still capturing images. Our CNN team has been taken into custody. Reporter Omar Jimenez arrested live on television before our eyes.
Show the custody, guys. I'm stupid. The
The
controller does cost money. I don't care about the controller. I care about the headset more than I do the controller.
He was taken away. So that's why you are seeing that image on the left.
What you're seeing is what I'm seeing.
And I do want to note the irony here of all this. Journalists have now been arrested on the streets of Minneapolis before the police officer caught on video with his knee on the neck of George Floyd, who died while in their custody. That is just a statement of fact at this point. I do want to reassure everyone, the CNN legal department is working with the situation to get our reporting team out
This
of
Turbo
police
Broadcasting
custody and back
Atlanta.
on the streets to tell the story of what's happening, which is where they
Fox
should
News.
be. And what is happening,
I wonder what
Allison,
they're doing.
has been an extraordinary night of pain and violence in Minneapolis, and we've also seen examples of it around the country as well.
Yes. And Josh Campbell, our correspondent, is one of the people who's been on the ground covering it all. And Josh, your perspective is so helpful because of your background in law enforcement. And so all of this was just an incredible night. I mean, just tell us what you saw beginning overnight.
Yeah, just incredible scenes here. Let me tell you what you're seeing now on my camera is very dramatically. You saw these police SUVs move in to do what looks like some type of vehicle stop. Then you saw the tactical officers coming in behind them, yelling at folks on their loudspeaker. Doesn't look like they're arresting anyone there. They're driving people back. And then over here closer to the other side, as I pan, you can see that firefighters are battling a blaze. We have National Guard, we have the police officers that are out here. But last night, we were here throughout the night, and it was chaos. You had protesters that were out expressing their anger, their frustration with the killing of this black man here in Minneapolis, George Floyd. You also had a segment of the crowd which didn't appear to represent those who were protesting police activity that were just committing violence. They were torching the police station, looting some of the buildings nearby, some of the local businesses. And again, just it appears that there are just different segments that were out here. And I'm going to move in here too. You can see police have now deployed what looks like tear gas as they have this roving patrol near the police precinct. We're about a block from where Omar was and his crew whenever they were taken into custody by police officers. Again, just you're seeing a show of force that we did not see last night. Police opted to let that building burn. We talked to experts who said the likely reason was they knew that their presence would probably inflame the situation even more, opting to lose a building rather than losing life. But now we're seeing the police, state police, local police, and the National Guard come out in a show of force that we haven't seen. And I can tell you there are a lot fewer people here, bystanders and protesters, than there were last night as well. There are journalists. We saw what happened.
Okay, guys, what I'm saying, guys.
Get heavy-handed, our own crew taken into custody. And you can hear now over the loudspeaker, they're warning people. It seems like they're just moving this perimeter.
I know, this is crazy. Yeah, I watched this earlier somewhere else, and it was showing a camera yesterday. So I thought, you know what? I'll get this camera set up and go to the TV on so you guys can see what I'm seeing. I hope YouTube doesn't cut this stream off me because this is technically more important than anything else right now.
And is now left in rubble.
That's the third precinct that another news station that CABS had it on last night. This is CNN, so yeah.
He just had a
On
conversation.
the left side, here's a camera that the guys at Cruise got arrested with. Their camera's another person filming. So yeah, this is just ridiculous.
He continued to move in.
They showed him his press pass and everything, and they didn't give a care. They still arrested him.
He finally moved.
I've been keeping an eye on this for about I've been keeping an eye on this since 10. I've been keeping an eye on this since 6:10 a.m. guys, our time. They're already behind us, so I've been doing this since 6:10 a.m. Keep an eye on this.
If anything
Since
happens
then.
before you, because you are our presence on the scene right now. You are our eyes and ears. Why? Because our other CNN team, led by reporter Omar Jimenez, has been taken into police custody. The CNN legal team is working to get them released. I want to bring people up to speed.
CNN has some pretty thick lawyers, guys.
Overnight in
I know for a
Minneapolis,
fact.
We have seen incredible pain and also
We've been doing this for 17 minutes now,
there
or so. 27 minutes now.
after protesters took to the
Keep an eye on
streets
this.
for a third night demonstrating against the death of George Floyd. They want justice. The 4 police officers who have lost their jobs over this have not yet been charged with any crime. Prosecutors say they are not ready yet to make charges after they said that yesterday there was a new round of demonstrations on the streets, more buildings burned. I want to bring in CNN political commentator Bakari Sellers and Minnesota State Senator Jeff Hayden. I know, Senator, that George Floyd was killed just outside your district, but you've been watching what's happening overnight here. And I also know, first, that you have been in contact trying to find out what's actually happened the last few minutes.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. George Floyd was killed in my district. The scene that you
This is ridiculous, guys. That CNN gets arrested.
In my district. I have to text the
No,
government.
it seems bombed a lot. People yelled them, but this was on the news. But this is it tonight. I bet.
The reporter being arrested, so I'm hoping that we can figure it out.
And Senator, have they given you any insight into why on earth, a team of journalists, a CNN crew would be arrested? That happened to be one of the calmer moments when state police showed up, and Omar was completely by the book, following what journalists do, standing where police had said to stand. Why he would be taken into custody?
Yeah, no, I just had a joint text with the governor there. I had to hear back from the governor that was reported out. We wanted to get control of the situation. So I don't know if he was watching or not. I told him that camera was still live and to bring his attention to I was watching this morning.
Yeah. That's what we're seeing on the left-hand side of our screen, everyone, that the strange sort of abstract image that you're seeing on the left-hand side of your screen is our CNN camera that has been confiscated by police. It's still rolling, and we think that it is now in some sort of vehicle because we can see some movement, though, of course, it's out of focus and looks strange. On the right side of your screen, you're seeing the aftermath of just what has been a violent night in Minneapolis where buildings were set on fire, including a police precinct. The 3rd police precinct was set on fire. Police had to be evacuated by the mayor. And then after hours of what our correspondent described as mayhem, the state police and the National Guard showed up. The protesters went home, it appears, for the morning, and they were dispersed. And then our own camera crew, led by Omar Jimenez, was arrested.
Bakari Sellers, you've been watching
He
this.
threw his computer next to the
unfold
TV and
before
hasn't
our
recording
eyes.
it.
Also, I want to talk about the bigger picture. I just want to point out again.
Okay, guys, I'm back now. I didn't have breakfast yet.
That Josh Campbell, our reporter on the ground there, who is white, is still working on the scene and has not been taken into custody. Omar Jimenez, who is
Yeah,
not
the cops grabbed the camera. I mean,
in police
I had
custody.
some footage earlier. I have a previous video previously recorded before I recorded on my computer here that the camera showed them to put the camera down, and the camera didn't stop rolling. He didn't turn it off because he didn't have time to turn it off. I know it takes a while for those cameras. I mean, I have seen a television camera. I actually have worked with a television camera before. It takes a few minutes to turn off a camera completely. So it's gonna be a while.
This morning, live.
If Life PD was here, they would have some fun footage of it for tonight.
Just add some context.
But right now, guys, I'm gonna leave this on. So yeah, I'm keeping this on, guys, until further notice.
Omar, get arrested. My heart begins to beat extremely fast because I didn't know how that interaction.
I'd like to say hi to everyone who's just now joined us here on the channel, who is from who is all on YouTube or any other media source that I have currently committed having. We are currently live on CNN TV through my computer, so you can see what I'm seeing here. At this time right now, about at 5:10 Central Time, 6:10 Eastern Time, CNN crew have just got arrested. We're currently knowing that right now CNN has got arrested in Minneapolis, Minnesota. More reports are coming in as we are hearing it right now live on CNN TV.
It remains. You were accurate. You were right. I mean, they've arrested a CNN reporter, a person of color, before they've arrested
I'm sorry the quality sucks. I mean, if the quality is terrible or it's backwards, I'm sorry in advance. It's just that best I can do. I don't have record. I don't have the proper equipment like other YouTubers do. I can do this, but yeah, what you're seeing is what I'm seeing, guys. So yeah,
Not that far out of the
National
box.
Guard's there and state police are there.
I don't know what the hell is going on in Minneapolis right now, and someone in some leadership authority needs to get control.
I need to get me back to the machine so you guys are
city.
seeing.
There are people who are hurting in that city, and this just goes when you go back home and you see
Sounds like this.
the world finds out that the Minneapolis law enforcement. I know there's a difference between state police and city police, etc.
Yeah,
However, law
ordinance.
enforcement in Minneapolis had the audacity and the utter gall on national TV to arrest a reporter of color while doing his job and following command. But the law
How many reports now that say-
officer who put his knee in the back
Hey,
of the
I got a
neck
comment
of
from someone that
man
said, "What the
and
fuck?"
choked him for 8 minutes is still free to walk around. That is what we're talking about justice system in America looking like. And we haven't even started talking about the tweets of the president of the United States adding just that much fire to the scenario. And so this is what Trump's America looks like now. And this is the problem, and this is the fierce sense of urgency that many people of color have. And what you're seeing, folks, that is the pain that many people of color are seeing, and that pain is demonstrated by the inequities of justice that we saw this morning on TV. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I've only been on this planet 35 years, but I haven't seen anything like that. But that is how we think that justice is handed out in this country.
I wonder if we can recap for our viewers the moment that the Minneapolis State Police surrounded Omar, because I think that it's really instructive. Let me know, control room, if we have it, because Bakari, as you point out, a lot of our hearts were beating.
If you're beeping down behind you guys, I'm trying to see what you guys are seeing.
Okay, so here it is. They're walking up to him as he's reporting.
There's a there with the crew members.
Listen to what happens.
They had us here. We're speaking with State Patrol right now.
Here's live feed, guys. This happened about
We can move
at
back to where
5:10.
We can move back to where you'd like here. We are live on the air at the moment. This is the 4 of us. We are one team.
Okay, guys, what you're seeing, I'm seeing.
Just
If we didn't get yanked off there yet, nobody didn't.
put us back where you want us. We are getting out of your way. So just let us know.
Keep an eye on this. I know, guys. I'm keeping an eye on this. You guys are keeping an eye on this. I do got a
Wherever you
delay.
want
I'm
us,
seeing what you guys are
we
seeing
will
actually.
go.
You know,
We're just getting out of your way when you're advancing.
I'm putting a machine on here so I can read what your comments said. Look behind
Just
the
let us
camera
know
in 5
when we got
minutes.
you.
There we go. Now you guys read your comments now. It's cool that I keep an eye on this. I know. Yeah, the camera's on your left. The
And,
camera's on your
this
left, guys.
scene
The right
right
is
now in Minneapolis.
previous feed that you're seeing,
Part
and
of
it
the
happened
advanced
about
police presence that we
at
saw
5:10 Minneapolis time, or
really
say,
when the local police
or
showed up
6:10
at the fire
local
department,
time.
or with the fire department, I should say, on that building we showed you that was burning. This is among the state patrol unit that was advancing up the street.
This was happening at around 6:10 Eastern time, 5:10 Minneapolis time.
Clear the area, and so we walked away. I'm sorry. Okay. Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest, sir? Why am I under arrest, sir?
Nope. I wonder what you're seeing is what I'm seeing, guys. So I don't know nothing. What you guys are seeing, I'm seeing. I just hooked up the machine now, guys, so I can see your back feed, so I can read what you guys are. I just hooked the machine up now, so I can read what your comments, guys. Yeah. This happened about. I started watching CNN at 6:10 Eastern time or 5:10 Minneapolis time. As soon as I turned the TV on, this was happening. As soon as I was watching my local news, I went to CNN to see how bad it was, and this happened as soon as I turned the TV on. I
mean,
paused
you
it,
hear
wound it,
Omar
grabbed my
saying,
phone,
"We'll do
and
whatever
recorded
you
this
want.
off my
We
phone
will-
so you guys can see this.
you
Then
show
I
us where
am
you
now
want us, we will go
keeping it on
there.
here now live
We
since
are
I don't know when.
recording.
We've been on now live for about
We are
almost 20
live
minutes
right
now.
officers, on
So what you're
scene,
seeing, I'm seeing.
and they don't give him a reason of why he's being
I have my
arrested.
machine on the side of me here.
And to your point, it
It's
is a
telling me what I can
part-time
read. What you guys are
for
telling me to
anybody
read.
who's
What you
watching,
read.
and
What I'm
it-
reading.
it's
Is what you guys are
inexplicable.
giving me on comments now.
Well, it's
I'll
inexplicable.
check Fox News later, guys. But right now, this is
Realize that they
ridiculous.
just killed a black man on the street not long ago, and you know and I don't want to say that it's a lie, but it's a lie. You know, the law enforcement, from what we
Now,
heard,
Minneapolis is an hour
is
behind me.
saying
My studio's
that,
based in Michigan, so
you know,
we're an hour
the
ahead of
reason
them.
They were arrested is because they weren't
So right now it's
complying,
6:45
and
our
they
time.
didn't
So now it's 6:47 Michigan time.
I mean, and we can
It
see
is
it on
5:47 Minneapolis
It's
time.
as if-
So it's an hour behind. I mean, this is what you're seeing is previous footage and live footage. This right now I heard is okay. Okay, this is live footage now. I'm getting told right. Okay. Both these scenes are right now live. I'm hearing it now. It's currently right now 5:47 Minneapolis Central Time Zone. Michigan's Eastern Time Zone. So what you're seeing is what we're seeing right now, guys. Live on CNN. I'll be checking Fox News in a little bit off camera.
Message saying that this man didn't comply, and in CNN we have a white reporter on the ground and we have a brown reporter on the ground. They are a block apart. The brown reporter is arrested, and the white reporter is telling us what's happening.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come back here. I'm sorry.
People are going to tell me that there is a large segment of the population that has this theory about respectability politics. And they're going to tell me that all you have to do is be a professional. All you have to do is comply. All you have to do is use your nice inside voice, and the police will leave you alone. We saw a reporter who is educated, who is brown, who is doing his job better than anybody in the country, was in harm's way, letting the American people see what's going on the ground. He complied. He said he would move. And do you know his family's heart is beating right now because he is locked up in prison? And killers are still roaming the streets free? You almost have to laugh, not to just be furious, because this is America in 2020. And I hate to be cheesy, but the revolution literally is being televised.
On the left-hand side of your screen is the camera that Omar Jimenez and his team were using. It is still taking pictures. We think it may be in the trunk or the back of a police vehicle right now, capturing those images. The CNN legal team is now in contact, working to find out.
I accidentally hit my cat. I accidentally over my cat.
Regarding Omar
On
and his
accident.
team. We will bring you
That's what the
updates.
screen was. My cat. I
as soon
accidentally
as
over my
we get
cat.
that. On the right-hand side of your screen is our live camera from our one reporter who's left there, Josh Campbell, who has Bakari notes.
I have cats, guys. So
Uh,
right over my cat on accident.
Before I go to you, Josh, let me just.
I use a
read the
rolling
official
chair
CNN
because you don't have a I don't know
on
chairs
what
in the
just
house, and I accidentally hurt my cat.
A CNN reporter
Cat's fine.
and his production
She's pissed,
team
but
were
she
arrested
always
this
does.
morning
She-
in Minneapolis for
I always
doing
run her over
their
an
job,
accident. Okay,
despite
she's always acts like
identifying
that.
themselves a clear violation of their First Amendment rights. The authorities in Minnesota, including the governor, must release the 3 CNN employees immediately. You all saw it if you were watching. It's on tape at this point. People can go look at it. Josh, we're lucky to still have you there, able to report on the scene. So if you will, let's take a step back and tell people where we are this morning as the sun comes up in Minneapolis.
John, it is complete, utter destruction here in this area near Precinct 3, which is near, obviously, where George Floyd was killed. We saw a number of protesters out here. I was here with our colleague Sarah Seidner throughout the night. There were thousands of people that were out protesting. And this is the aftermath. You're seeing a
That's
lot
an
of these local
Aldi?
businesses have been tagged. There's fire that's been set. Fire
I'll be back in a bit, guys. But you guys are seeing what I'm seeing right now. I have to do something quick.
continues to burn. Businesses here burned to almost rubble. And this again occurred last night during this protest. The police precinct itself was set ablaze. Officers opting to let that burn rather than move in with any kind of show of force. Now, however, today it's a different story. We're seeing a larger police presence. We're seeing the National Guard. I'm going to pan here so you can get a full view of just the number of different agencies, the number of personnel that we're seeing here in this location. They're pushing people back. We saw riot police moving in with with their riot gear. We've heard over the loudspeaker a number of times the state police announcing that congregating in this area is now unlawful, and they are enforcing it. They're setting up a cordon around this area, pushing people back.
I don't know what's happening, guys. I just went to the kitchen to try to see what I got. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties. Looks like here. Shit. If you guys are seeing that bar, that means I might have lost you guys. Yep. It looks like we're having some connections right now with our internet. Okay, guys. Looks like we're having some problems with our internet. I can't change it. You see if we can get the local news real quick. If we can't get the local news, then I think we might not be watching more TV for a while. 3? Nope, the internet's out, guys. Which is weird, because this is cable. This is cable, not internet. It's weird. This is cable. This is cable. The only thing's on internet now is the computer, which is off the same internet server. So, yeah. So, we're having some technical difficulties right now. I've paid a lot. So, it looks like, guys, we're down right now. I don't understand. The team was working 5. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties right now. How about we do something else right now? Like, well, that means I can't do nothing else at all. Think of it though. If you had Stadia, you couldn't do this either. I don't know. Are we still even live here? I can't tell if I'm even live. Let's see here. Let's turn the screen over and see here. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're still live. Okay, I don't know what's happening, guys. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties right now with the computer. And I've been watching you guys right now on my tablet, so I can see what you guys have been writing me too. So I don't have to keep doing this, look at the screen, look at the chat. But yeah, guys, I think we're having some internet troubles here. Which I don't know why. The TV reset it. I reset the TV cable box this morning at midnight. I reset it. I'm in my house, guys, and I accidentally hit on my cat. My cat's fine. She's fine. I have 3 of them, so. Is AC even on? Because it is hot in here. No, I'm not doing what you're thinking about doing. I'm right now wearing shorts right now, and it's a nice shirt like I always do on YouTube videos. Now, I don't know what's going on, guys, but I think everyone else is watching. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I can read what you guys are reading now, guys. I do have a tablet over here that it's actually on right now. This tablet's rigged, so I don't have to. I have the tablet rigged, so every time you guys leave a chat, and when we're on TV, I can see you guys' chat. Well, we'll turn the computer over, but right now. I mean, there isn't a way for me to see what you guys are seeing. So let me try some here, Kurt. Okay, there's like an 8-second. There's about an 8-second delay. Then what? Okay, it looks like we're back now. I have an 8-second now. What you guys?
That identifies as black.
Okay, here we go.
Has been taken into police custody.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, here we go. Okay, guys, the cable's now back. Here we go now. Live from CNN, back to our local programming now.
Burning of the 3rd Police Precinct there, as people there ask for answers.
Here we go, guys.
Ask for action. The officers.
I hope CNN doesn't yell at me. I hope I don't get sued by CNN or Fox. So here we go, guys. Now use the tablet now.
CNN's special live coverage of the situation continues right after this.
Okay. So that's my commercial. I need definitely to the screen so you guys don't get sued. But yeah, guys, I'm glad I'm Zoom. I hope later that YouTube doesn't sue me. I hope CNN looks like. I don't know what you guys are talking about here, but it does look like the 3rd police department did get arrested, did get burned. Last night around midnight, the 3rd police department did get burned. I did see it last night off camera. We're staying on, guys, but right now I can't show you the commercials due to legal reasons. These are not my sponsors. I'm a sponsor of these guys. I bet there's a few other YouTubers doing this too, I bet, but I don't know who they are. I'm just doing this because this is ridiculous. I've been keeping an eye on this since 6:10 Eastern time or 5:10 Minneapolis time. We were trying to figure out what the heck. I mean, they just arrested CNN. They just arrested a CNN crew right now, which is surprising. And you gotta think here, CNN, okay. And I went to Fox News earlier on the different television I have here, and Fox News wasn't showing nothing. We're gonna stay on CNN until further notice. We are still trying to figure out what the hell's going on here, guys, because this is ridiculous. they have two CNN crews technically there. One crew, the big crew got arrested. The small crew's still there, to our knowledge. This is definitely ridiculous. Okay, this is just bad. I have not seen this bad before in forever.
If you ever face advanced cancer, ask your doctor to start with step 1, Foundation 1. For the intended use and safety information, visit startwithstep1.com.
I mean, I use Xbox, guys. I don't use PlayStation.
America's biopharmaceutical companies are working around the clock to do ours. Testing existing medicines.
3 people got arrested. Or 4 people got arrested. The reporter got arrested. The camera guy got arrested. The director got arrested. I don't know if it's a crew of 4 or a crew of 5. I don't really know. I did have a little bit of a backfeed problem at one place because I had one TV was back a few minutes. Then I had to get this TV set up for you guys to watch the footage. So I really don't. It sounds like 3. It sounds like there's like 4 or 5 people there. So yeah, it's just getting ridiculous, guys. What the heck is with this? Commercial, guys. But no, a few people got arrested so far, which is just ridiculous. I need to do something here. Back this off a little bit. Okay, looks like I got 2 people. Looks like I got 2 people like the. Okay, looks like I got 2 people like the video so far.
Voting is our patriotic duty.
I had the barrel of my tablet here.
Vote in person on election day. Americans across the country.
So yeah, one person right now got arrested. I had to turn my battery real quick, guys, because to make sure it's going good. I just want to make sure the battery level of my tablet is good because when it's on YouTube, I don't see the battery level in there. We're at 97% battery, so we're good on the we're done the tablet and we're done on the computer, so we're good. I need to get something to drink. I'll be back in a minute, guys. As soon as we got
Security of the election in November.
There are so many toothpastes out there. Which one should I use? Try Crest Proactive Defense. It neutralizes bacteria for a healthier mouth than even the leading multi-benefit toothpaste. Crest.
With Armor All, a little bit of this protects you from a lot of that. Armor All, minimum effort, maximum protection.
Okay, guys, I'm back now. I just had to get some milk in me so I can stay up because if I don't start eating something, I get sick.
Extra cautious driving.
Milk is technically food, so technically it works. But now we're going to fit right now.
At Amica, we believe in life.
Like I said, I can't show you the commercials due to legal reasons, or definitely I'll get yelled at. But since it's technically news, I don't think I'll get yelled at exactly. But we're seeing is what I'm seeing, guys. So yeah, I mean, I know you're not seeing what I'm seeing right now, but yeah. Allergies.
Yours. Experience Amica. Auto, home, and life
Sure,
insurance.
guys, allergies. Okay, here we go. See it.
This is CNN breaking news.
Here we go, guys. Back to our local programming.
Viewers in the United States and all around the world, this is New Day, and we are all following breaking news and an incredible turn of events in Minneapolis. You're looking at live pictures right now.
WCCO
From the
TV.
streets of Minneapolis, you can see hundreds of state patrol officers, also National Guard troops. They are moving in to dispense crowds. They have gathered around burning buildings down the street from a police precinct that was set on fire.
Number
overnight.
3.
Protests.
Okay, guys, I'm back on CNN now.
The death of George
So
Floyd,
now you see you guys
who
speak
died
this
in
here.
police
No,
custody
please don't do that.
with a police officer's knee on his neck while he was pleading that he could not.
Okay, guys, back on CNN now.
No charges filed against those officers. State prosecutors announced yesterday they have yet to make those charges that may have led to the new round of demonstrations overnight.
What the heck?
Within the last hour, our CNN correspondent, Omar Jimenez, was taken into custody on live television while he was reporting from the scene, along with his producer and camera crew.
So 3 people got arrested so
Here's how
far.
it played out live on New Day.
Turn this up, guys.
They have us here. We're speaking with State Patrol right now. Give us a second,
Sorry,
guys.
the audio sucks.
We can move back to where you'd like. We can move back to where you'd like here. We are live on the air at the moment. This is the 4 of us. We are one team.
Okay, there's 4 people, guys, got arrested. 4 guys got arrested.
Just put us back where you want us. We are getting out of your way, so just let us know. Wherever you'd want us, we will go. We are just getting out of
Yeah,
your way when you're
yeah, that's right,
passing
0.
through the
That's how you got arrested. 4.
So, just let us know.
So we're
when
seeing
we
what I'm
got you.
seeing. This happened This happened 50 minutes ago, guys. This happened at 5:10 Minneapolis time, 6:10
And, this is the
English
scene
Michigan
here
time,
playing out in
or
Minneapolis.
say Eastern time.
part of the advanced.
See, they're
police
just
presence that we
they're just
saw
showing his badge and stuff to everyone.
a really
He's showing his
nice
badge,
local
and they don't
police
care.
at the fire
The
department.
press pass,
or
he's
with
looking
the
at him.
fire department, I should say, on that building.
Oh crap! I looks like I just lost my feed.
This is among the state patrol.
I'm sorry, guys.
unit that was advancing up the
I have
street,
lost.
saying.
It's not got kicked out of YouTube, guys. So
to that point, for people
you
to
guys still seeing
clear
this?
the
I don't-
area.
I cannot
So,
read anything,
we
guys.
walked away.
My tablet just crapped out.
I'm sorry. Okay. Do you mind
Okay, there we
telling me
go.
why
We're-
I'm under arrest, sir?
That was working out, guys. I don't know what just happened.
Why am I under arrest?
Oh, it's fine. Okay. You guys are back. I see you guys are ready to come now. Okay, guys, we're back. We're back. Okay, guys, we're having a little bit of camera problems here in the studio. Please stand by. Thank you for the operation. I hear we got nervous on here now. Do we? Oh, hi, CG. Yeah, hi, CG. Yeah. No, I have a machine that I'm seeing it too. Yeah, thanks for seeing that previous video I made about what the heck, seeing what the F, which I agree with you. What the F? Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, I'm surprised too, Zero. I've been keeping an eye on this for I don't know how long now. About 36 minutes now, guys. I've been keeping an eye on this since 6:10 EST
Well, that
time.
was the incredible scene
So we're seeing what I'm seeing,
watched
guys.
play out here
I'm
live
sorry about
on
the
air.
lines
Our
stuff. I can't fix that.
correspondent,
That's with
Omar
my
Menace,
feed, you
being
know.
taken into custody. The police later told our producer that our entire team was arrested for not following orders to clear the street. We'll read you the statement from CNN in just the past hour. A CNN reporter and his production team were arrested this morning in Minneapolis for doing their jobs despite identifying themselves. A clear
Hey, guys, yep,
violation of their First Amendment rights.
Here we go, guys.
The authorities in Minnesota, including the governor, must release the 3 CNN employees immediately. We are obviously, our legal team is in touch with the governor's office as well as all the authorities in Minneapolis, and we will keep you apprised of the situation every step of the way.
Wait a minute.
CNN's Josh Campbell
There's also
is standing by.
okay. There's
He
4
was
people right now in
just
Minneapolis,
blocks away
and
from
there's only
that moment where our team was
there's
taken into
2 report. There's 2
custody.
crews there, guys.
He's
A
been
1-man crew and a 4-man crew.
So,
A 3-man crew.
Josh,
So
tell
we'll
us
see what I'm
everything
seeing.
you've seen.
Cameraman coming, yeah, target. Yeah, guys, I can tell you, I mean, it's unbelievable what's happening here. I was just approached by the police here near the police station.
Yep.
One of them came up to me and asked who I was, identified myself as a journalist. They asked what station. I told them CNN. He said, okay, you're good. And they're pushing everyone else back. Again, a much
This is
different
WCCO.
situation than just
I don't know this is
occurred
based out of. Let me
with
my phone
Alcoa
see.
Jimenez.
So we got
I mean,
too many
Josh,
gets the
it's,
reporters all the
it's
time.
just impossible not to note the difference. You are a white guy. Omar Jimenez
Give me
identifies
the footage, guys,
as
the last one.
Black and Latino. And since the police didn't give us much of an explanation for what they were doing
This is
against the
CNN, guys.
backdrop of these fires burning and of George Floyd's death, it's just impossible not to note the difference here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And
You see what
we're
WCCO
here
is.
identifying ourselves as the police. We're
I just wonder what
covering
network
the story.
WCCO
They
is.
know that we're here. We've been communicating with them.
Okay,
talking with
WCCO is
them.
a
We've been
CBS
here
Minneapolis.
throughout the
Okay,
night. So they know
WCCO
that
is a
we're
CBS
here.
network. So
You know,
yeah.
Obviously, if there's a situation where someone is in imminent danger and the police need to move people back, for their own safety, that's one thing. That's not what we saw. We saw Omar very politely identifying himself as a member of the press. And we saw what
I know, press. You can't arrest the press. The press actually has an error.
Some other pictures.
There's actually an amendment for the press. What gets called the press amendment. You cannot arrest them.
In and around this
The thing is, though,
there's just
I could get. I mean, YouTubers don't count. I mean, if you work for the, if you have a press pass, certain things you can do that no one else can do.
Right next to
Yeah, 3 were arrested from CNN, which is stupid.
Now, just left in rubble. I'm standing outside. We'll get our live shot up in a second. But you saw the
Yeah, actually, there is a press. If you're a press pass, you can go where you want practically. If you have permission.
who were here.
The police are just playing bullshit. These guys, it seems. So you're seeing, I'm seeing, guys. I see we got 4 people on here. We got 2 likes on this video, so that's good to know.
Some people here that
Let
were
me see here.
protesting, holding a
I
sign.
we got comments coming in now.
Got to a different level.
Yeah, front of the press.
Tried to torch this building. We're seeing the
Minneapolis is an hour
aftermath
behind my
today.
station.
Now
Is a
moving in with
our
greater
notice space
force,
like times.
that
Let's see
we
here. What the
saw
heck?
last
My
night.
house is
The
getting pounded
National
on,
Guard
guys.
is also here trying to cordon off this
Okay.
area.
I'm sure I don't lose my
announcements.
My bearings
on
here.
loudspeakers
This is
telling
ridiculous.
people to disperse. We saw some tear gas deployed a little earlier. I think this goes to show, and we can't lose sight of why this is happening here. This all
It's gonna
goes
rain
back to
today.
that dramatic video that we saw from a cell phone of a police officer with his knee on the neck of a black man on the ground.
He's supposed to knee on his back, not his neck.
A lot of
Even I
unanswered
know that.
questions from police, a lot of unanswered questions from prosecutors about what is going to happen there with that investigation. But I think this shows that, this part of the city, at least right now, is on fire, both physically and they are enraged. And just as quickly as something can start, it takes a lot longer to put that fire out. I think we're seeing that now. That dramatic video set all of this in motion, and we're now seeing that it's taken people here time, but the authorities trying to calm the public. and
This
members of
is
the public
this is
who want their
CBS
frustration
Minneapolis right now,
to be
WCCO.
All right, Josh, stand by, if you will. Please keep us posted as the developments you are seeing. You are our only eyes right now on the scene.
This is
as
a reporter that
Omar
CNN
Mann
was
and
there
his team
with.
have been taken into
He's a
custody.
smaller crew.
Joining us
One
now
man.
by phone, I believe, is Andrea Jenkins. She is the vice president of the Minneapolis City Council. Counselor, we appreciate you being with us. I have a lot of questions to ask you about the overall situation in Minneapolis, but since you are the first official we've had on, do you have any update on the status of the CNN team that's been taken into custody?
Good morning, John. I do not have an update at this moment. I have just I texted the police chief and our city coordinator to see what they know. I believe the arrest, I'm looking at your coverage, was made by the state patrol. So that body is, overseen by the governor, and so hopefully the governor is included in trying to get some resolution to this issue too.
Yes, to be clear,
Any press can't be arrested.
Based on the pictures that we saw, they were taken into custody by the state patrol. Counselor, waking up this
Oh, they
morning
are?
and seeing,
Okay, I'll take a look at
I don't
that
know if you
in a
actually
minute.
slept. You probably didn't sleep.
I believe
given
I
what's
believe
going
I'm
on
just
in
CNN guys for you guys.
Well,
I don't think I got MSNBC. I
What are
tried
your
Fox News
feelings
earlier, they didn't talk
of
about
the
this.
pictures of
But
the
CNN
buildings
is,
on
if
fire,
MSNBC
of
is
the
good.
precinct burned. What can you tell
I-
us?
MSNBC doesn't work.
I know that.
Well, if you're saying MSNBC, then thanks for telling me that. But we're staying on CNN right now, guys. That looks like Police Department 3 in front of us, guys. I think I'm seeing right now.
I really have no words.
Thanks for telling me, because I did not know that. I don't even know if I have MSNBC. I'm going to see if I do. I'm going to go to TV right now and see. Back in a minute, guys.
Joy in destroying property and creating this really untenable situation for already stressed community, stress from the coronavirus and the impacts that has ravaged on our communities, and now this. I mean, the murder of George Floyd precipitated all of this, and we all have to take responsibility for this. But the fact that the FBI and the DCA and county attorney has decided to continue to drag their feet after, I'm not sure what other evidence is even available. And I have witnessed him charge people with literally no evidence. In fact, Officer Mohammed Noor, who is in jail right now.
I do not have. I just checked my ski. I just checked my TV. Directory. I don't have MSNBC.
Indifference.
I don't have it. I am not that. I am cheap. Okay, I'm a cable. Okay, we got it.
No video, no witnesses.
Okay, guys.
Nothing. And he's in jail. And these guys don't even get arrested.
Counselor, hang on for 1 second. I want to talk more with you in just a moment, but we do have some breaking news.
I don't know, guys. I checked Fox
situation involving
News.
the
Fox is
CNN,
reporting it, but Fox is not reporting it.
CNN
I do not
President Jeff
have.
Zucker just spoke with the governor
Whoa.
of Minnesota, Tim Walz,
I don't have
who
MSNBC.
says he deeply apologizes for what happens. He is working to
So
have
I just
the
hope you guys, if you
CNN
do not have
released
MSNBC,
immediately.
we do have Fox
It was
News,
totally
but Fox is talking about the
unacceptable
president.
and totally inadvertent.
That's all I'm going to say. So I'm
what
going to see CNN, guys.
They clearly had
Local-
the right to be there, the
local
CNN
leader.
team. We want the
Who's
media there to cover this. It is never acceptable for this to happen. The
Yeah, my
governor
local
accepts
my local TV stations
full
are off the air except our local Fox affiliate.
Again,
Which our local Fox affiliate is better. I mean, it's better than WZRA. I mean,
Tim Walz.
our local Fox affiliate is still on,
apologizing
but I don't
for
watch
what's
local Fox
happened
affiliate
to
now.
the
I'm saying
Counselor,
Minnesota leader.
Back to you.
I know,
on
it
this
seems
in a
like that.
larger picture of
This
what's
is live.
happened over the last 12
WCCO.
hours.
This
Is
is
this situation
so yeah, this is
spiraled out of
ridiculous.
control?
What you're seeing is from a CNN reporter still, or no, this is from CBS. CBS, sorry guys. What we're seeing is from CBS run through CNN.
Is, very much complete chaos in here.
Oh, okay. If you say so. Right now this is CNN, but right now they're on WCCO, CBS. Where the feed's coming from. So it's from a different media outlet. But CNN's using the feed from a different media outlet, which is good.
These protests and this
I need to use my tablet from the.
this unrest is
I need the tablet so I can
all
get
over
to
the city. So it is
I have a
not
tablet on
just
behind
in
the
that
computer, guys, so I
area.
can see what you guys are seeing.
And so resources are stretched really thin. State
Okay.
troopers are here.
I'm just checking let me check how long we've been on CNN
I
for.
believe there's National Guard. And so it is.
What you're seeing is what I'm seeing, guys.
yeah,
So
it's
you know what
very
I do.
much, spiraling situation.
Who should be taking control right now? Who is this on this morning?
Right now, I think we as government.
That's right. The CNN. This is from WCCO, I know, but CNN's using the feed. It looks like, which you know it's confusing, but yeah, WCCO is using they're using feed from WCCO,
Of the streets, we cannot.
and they're using feed, and then they're using their own feed. So yeah, yeah.
Destruction.
A lot of networks do that. Even Sky News does. I mean, even the UK does the same thing. Like Sky News UK, they'll actually use Fox feed. Fox News, they'll use any feed they can get their hands on around the world.
In harm's way.
Yeah,
And we
I read something about that in the UK. If this, right now this is on Sky News right now, and they're using
just
American
don't
feed.
want it to get lost.
So yeah, this gets ridiculous, guys.
In all of these extraordinary developments that have played out.
But this just get
for,
ridiculous.
About why this is all happening. Why there is so much pain on the streets of Minneapolis right now and in the streets around the country as we saw demonstrations in solidarity with the people of
Looks like I have
your
some-
great state. You
Okay,
came
I
out
just lost something here.
yesterday
What the-
and said you want a state of emergency, health emergency declared over the racism that you see. What do you mean?
I mean, we just witnessed it on air. Two reporters, one black, one white, and the black reporter gets arrested. I
Okay,
mean, that is
Somebody sent me on the last one, and I.
display of racism. Certainly, there are
Okay.
many more subtler forms, but
Okay, guys, I'm not right now on my feed right now. I had to
it,
do some real quick here. Let's see here.
it's
My
palpable.
tablet's giving problems right now, so. Okay, I
and
got.
no
Okay,
more-
I can get.
no-
Come on, tablet, reload.
no justification. So,
It's
until
on, load
we
up your
deal
tablet.
with the outright racism head on, it is.
I'll see the feed. I'll see you guys' stuff in a minute, guys. I had to.
continue.
I had to set the tablet over
And,
again.
You know, hopefully, news stories like this, maybe the president of CNN, Jeff Zucker, can call the governor again and ask him about these water issues, because things seem to just continue to cycle.
We might get off this in a bit, guys.
Same
Figure
way.
what's going on, guys. We'll get off this
We gotta make some
and do
changes.
some fun.
I
Okay.
can hear it in your voice.
But
and
right
I've
now,
heard it
it's
said
on here for the
explicitly
notice.
by other African American friends and leaders over the last 24 hours that more than anything.
Okay,
right
guys,
now,
thanks for that,
what they're
guys.
feeling
Yeah.
is fatigue.
If you have your own TV, if
tired
you guys are currently have a
of this.
cable TV station, go to your cable,
Yeah.
go to your anything you want to do, guys.
Emotionally,
I'm just doing this for a little bit longer.
emotionally
I'm just doing this for a little bit until I think I have to get off.
I was
But
monitoring social media last
So
night.
keep an eye on this, guys. So,
and
yeah.
ended up almost getting, into an argument. And I really try to stay out of that kind of back and forth on social media because it really never leads to anything good. However, I was reminded by
the fan got touched. The fan touched the table I'm using, so it diverts a little bit.
we are tired, Andrea. We can't take this anymore. We just cannot take this anymore.
I know cable's not portable.
You're absolutely right.
If I didn't have cable or no offense, if you have an antenna, you're cheap, you're smart. Me, I'm not. I had to get cable so I can internet. Because where I live is pretty cruddy, okay? Where I live, I have to get cable, get internet, or I couldn't get no internet at all. I had to get a satellite dish. The problem is, there's nowhere to put the satellite dish on my roof because there's nowhere to get to my attic. So I had to put it in the yard. Then the satellite just get too expensive, so I bought cable, which is cheaper. I actually spend $20 more now for this stuff than I would for cable for satellite. And I would have no internet, so technically it was worth $20 extra.
People are tired.
I know, guys. I'll stay on as long as you want me to, guys. But
Minneapolis.
Eventually, I have to get off,
City
guys.
Council
Eventually,
Vice
but
President Andrew
wow,
Hankins,
boy, it's gonna be hot
appreciate
somewhere
your
in
time.
Vegas.
We know it has been an exhausting
True,
spell
true.
for you. We wish you the best of luck. The people in your city are
I
going to
know.
need your leadership.
Yeah. And,
I know. As long as you have local TV or an antenna, you're good.
Everybody to help
I mean, I know how you guys feel, guys.
people who are.
We might play some games later, but right now, with this happening, we can't do
Really
anything.
step forward
Fine.
and not let this happen again tonight.
Counselor, thanks very much for being
I
with
mean,
us.
like I said, guys, we're just seeing I'm seeing.
Thank you so much.
Allison.
John, let's recap for everyone what a night it has been and morning as we have watched it unfold here on CNN Live. It was the third night of violence in Minneapolis, and last night a police precinct was burned. Police were evacuated beforehand to get them out of harm's way. Other buildings have burned. We've watched this morning firefighters trying to put that out. Our correspondent, Omar Jimenez, described basically a scene of lawlessness from about 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. And then he was on the scene at 5 a.m. as he watched
5:10, we got arrested at 5:10.
Line
Over an hour ago, we got arrested.
State Patrol taking control of that area of the city, marching in a line, and then inexplicably, Omar Jimenez and our entire CNN production team was taken into custody and arrested as they were just reporting and doing their jobs. Josh Campbell was a block away from that, our other correspondent, while all of this was happening. And Josh, I know you've been on the scene all night, and so just bring us up to speed on everything that has happened there in Minneapolis over these hours.
Yeah, the wind is picking up here, Allison, so I apologize.
I already have a flag. I already have a U.S. flag, guys. Don't worry. I do have a
This is much
U.S.
different
flag.
scene than what we saw last night and overnight. I'm actually
That's fine, guys. I just can't believe it. What's next? My area? This is my area. I'm shutting down YouTube. I'm shutting down. But this is getting ridiculous, guys.
Floyd died, and now you see a very robust police presence. The National Guard now behind me as well.
Okay, let's get more CNN crew there now, guys.
The officers here now moving in.
What the heck is that?
They haven't seen before. Tactical gear and riot gear. The Jeep that you're seeing here has been driving.
I'm not leaving, guys. I do multiple stuff. If violence started happening around where I live, then yeah, I'd cut off YouTube completely until the violence ended. I bet some YouTubers right now in Minneapolis have stopped doing broadcasting until further notice. I can guess right now that a few YouTubers who live in Minneapolis, St. Paul area have quit broadcasting for a while because of this. I don't know if YouTubers do that. Me, I'm opposite. It's just horrible weather. I'm more of a weather person. It's interesting weather, not riots. But
now, I think it's
I live in a small
to
community, so I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, there was a shooting me a few days ago, but yeah.
There were different
I'm staying on, guys. I'm not leaving. I'm staying. I'm not quitting YouTube until I get my goal, until I get what I want really for my. What I want to get, I can't get anytime soon, so I'm going to stay on until I get what I want. And I'll keep on doing what I've been doing.
They weren't part of that group of protesters, and then yet another third group that were busy looting the nearby businesses. So
Isn't there CNN?
what I don't want is for all of this to get lost and people to assume that everyone out here on those pictures that we saw that they were engaged in some type of violence. That was not the case. One thing that we do know is that police last night opted not
Sorry about
to
the black lines, guys. Just that way TVs and cameras work together.
not to send in the fire department to put
I got
this
footage
place
that I
out.
need to upload
And
later,
I think
guys,
we
but I will
need to
upload it
talk to
later.
experts
When I
is
get
that
time, I'll
they-
upload some
they
videos
knew
from there that I have.
a show of force
Yes,
by
you-
people in
yeah.
uniform
Yeah,
could possibly
it's on.
turn deadly. Their calculation likely being to let a building go rather than possibly lose lives. But now the cleanup begins. We were again, our experience was much different than that of our colleague Omar Jimenez. I've talked to a number of police officers since I've been here. I can tell you I was a lot less polite than he was.
I'm wondering
just
that too.
watching that video.
Seriously, I'm wondering that
Obviously,
too.
he was very
I'm wondering if
polite.
LAPD is gonna be here last tonight or not. I wonder also if LAPD is gonna be on here tonight.
Talking to us.
I mean, LAPD is on
did find
A&E, but
myself
still.
a number of times as a member of the press, and yet
Oh
I
wait,
was
oh yeah,
here.
yeah, it's right. Disney owns
So
A&E.
again, police
Never mind.
officers moving in,
But this
they're
is ridiculous,
really
guys. Oh,
pushing
I
people
don't need
back
this
now
anymore.
from the scene, bystanders,
There's a,
and now the
roach
cleanup
list.
begins. This place is
You're watching
largely
ATM
left
Mexico, guys.
after a night of
I
violence.
have my
And Josh,
check
just
to
one
prove
more
it.
question about the difference between your reporting there on the ground and Omar Jimenez's a block away.
It's him on
Did
the camera.
you see when he was being taken into custody from your vantage point?
I couldn't. It was a little bit dark.
This is about an hour ago, guys. This happened an hour ago.
Actually, see, I was about a block away. But you have.
You see right now, there's Omar on the right, there's screen, guys. This happened over an
hour
hour ago at happened over an hour ago, guys. An hour and 12 minutes ago, this happened.
Obviously, I interacted with the police officers. They were very polite. They obviously didn't take me into custody. There were a number of bystanders that came and tried to make their way past that scene, the line that they had set up, that they weren't allowing people to go beyond. And they were, polite to them as well, saying, we just need you to move back. So clearly not a uniform enforcement here. And what we saw with our colleague there, just so surreal, taking a U.S. reporter into custody and his crew after they clearly identified themselves.
It's not Univision
Clearly a
or
heavy
Telemundo.
from police officers that
I mean,
clearly we haven't seen.
Come
And I have
on.
to tell you,
Even
that
they do
is the
their
opposite
day.
of what we saw here last night.
Come on. I wonder what they did to Univision. What is it? It was Univision or Telemundo. What they do to them right now? But
Building down
beat them up.
behind me, set it ablaze.
This is
You didn't
ridiculous.
see the type of force that we saw on American journalists this morning here in Minneapolis.
Josh, thank you very much. For
He's using a little
being
camera,
our
so that's
eyes
why
and
it looks- the
on
feed
ground.
looks-
Obviously,
this
stand
looks
by. We will
crap.
check back with you. Joining us now, we have CNN political analyst Ested Herndon. He's a New York Times national political reporter. We have CNN legal analyst Laura Coates and CNN political commentator Bakari Sellers. I know you've all
Okay,
been
I'm not
watching
watching
everything
that
that's
right
unfolded
now.
overnight as well as this morning.
I'm wondering too, guys.
Your
Camera's still
legal
on, but who knows where
mind
it
for a
is.
moment, before we get to the bigger picture of everything that's happened, just in terms of our crew being arrested and of Omar Jimenez being taken into custody, it just.
Oh, you
have
gotta
to
be
ask the
kidding me.
question. He is Black and Hispanic.
And
He
okay,
was
here I
arrested
see some
without
stuff on this building I
explanation,
recognize.
along with his crew.
I recognize.
Josh Campbell.
Oh no!
White says that the police treated him very
Shoot.
politely. They were
I
very
recognize some of that
polite in
graffiti on
asking
that building. I
him to
recognize some of those graffiti
stand where
markings.
they wanted him to
I
stand.
recognize one of those logos.
Let me just quickly.
It's not my
also
logo, so
read
it doesn't really matter,
that I
right?
know so many of our viewers are interested in what has.
If someone did that,
happened,
I would be in hot water
with
right now.
Omar.
They put my
So
channel
let
in
me
there, I'd be
just
in hot
read
water.
The update. CNN management.
I'm glad it won't happen.
The governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. This happened over an hour ago. Here we go, guys. Here's the footage again when we started doing this.
He says this was totally unacceptable, totally inadvertent. They clearly had the right to be there. We're playing this moment again of Omar being arrested. The governor says we want the media there to cover this. It is never acceptable for this to happen. The governor accepts full responsibility here, though it was the state patrol that took them into custody.
The governor's taking blame for this. Ooh, that's gonna hurt his numbers next year.
Jimenez is Black.
I've never been to Minneapolis. I've never been to Minnesota, guys. So yeah.
Entirely clear.
I mean, I've been pretty much, I've been over the state, but I've never been
As
there.
long as they were abiding by.
Still not funny though, guys, that this is happening. I've been pretty much, I've been over the state, I've been around.
This is my home.
I've been around the state
I
and
grew up
stuff.
across the river in St. Paul. I owned a home a few blocks from where Mr. Floyd was killed, and I had an apartment up the street from this precinct. I've actually had to file a police report in the precinct that's now gone. And a few miles from there, I was a private practice attorney doing First Amendment litigation and media law as well. So look at this situation.
Oh, media law.
I don't even see any semblance of the home that I've known. And I don't see any semblance of any reality where this was inadvertent. You heard Josh Campbell talking about this issue. He was asked the same line of question that Omar Jimenez was. One was arrested, one's credentials, the letters CNN meant nothing for Omar. They meant everything, apparently, to add to the credibility that was probably already given and extended to Josh Campbell just by default. And so what you're seeing here optically is much of what the frustration is about. Now, the riots have devolved from a protest that began with George Floyd's
Wow, that
death
car
and
is
senseless
wow.
killing. All of this has been avoidable, Allison.
If we had social media, this wouldn't happen.
And I draw everyone's attention and looking at, and I keep looking back at the timeline involving
So they're going to
Marilyn
tow truck driver
Mosby
too, I bet, so
and
you blow that
Freddie
car up.
Gray. Her decision to move swiftly, her decision to stand on those steps and try to quell the protests and try to do some action. And here we have right now that 4 officers who were involved in the killing of an unarmed Black man whose body was on the street and handcuffed behind his back, they have not been arrested since Monday or charged with any crime. Omar Jimenez shows a credential. A camera is running. His crew and producers are saying who they are, and they were arrested sooner. Optically, this is why people don't have faith in what might happen in Hennepin County. And to say it's inadvertent, I'm not sure the governor is aware of the definition of that, because what I saw was
no offense,
blatant
guys.
disregard.
Wow.
Bakari, if we can.
They arrest
the
those
governor
cops
has
yet,
said
which
he's
is
working to
bold.
get our team released.
I mean-
And I guarantee you what Omar would like more than anything else is to be back on the streets reporting what he's seeing
Okay.
and telling us what's happening in
On
Minneapolis.
our left is live feed, on our right
telling
is
us the pain
over an hour
that's
ago.
on the
So it's
streets
over
there,
an hour
giving
old.
us the bigger picture of why that city has
I
erupted.
need to get
over
some.
the
I need to
last
eat something,
3 days,
guys.
and
I have to,
particularly
I'll
over the
remember,
last
guys. I have to
12
get some to
hours.
eat.
I do think what's happened to Omar is part of a general loss of control that seems to have happened on the streets there. I'm wondering what you see.
Well, I don't think when Omar woke up this morning, he thought that he would be the example we used of injustice that ravages the streets of America. Let's just look at this arrest. Omar had the protection of the First Amendment. Absolutely everything the officers told him to do. He was credentialed. He was abiding.
I'm at the right
He
to
was still
CNN saying I
arrested.
used their feed without permission.
That arrest was actually
I
on
have to make
camera.
a letter or something.
And then they lied about the reason why he was arrested. So just imagine all of the people of color who have had interactions with officers, who don't have the infrastructure of CNN backing them.
Bakari, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just quickly, our camera is still live. The
Oh,
camera was
wow.
confiscated by
There's a
police.
camera,
Our
guys.
CNN
There's a camera, guys. You guys wanted to see. There's a camera.
It's still rolling.
There's a camera,
It has been
guys.
rolling for the better part of an hour at this point. So right now it's breaking up, but it's in an elevator. So we assume that
Okay.
it is in a police department. And
Yep, there's your camera. There's your camera, Zero. The camera's still rolling, Zero. There's your camera.
Right there, walking.
Yep, that's
It's
gold.
Perhaps.
That's gold.
We don't know. I just don't know, and I
It's
don't.
in the police
wanna
department. It looks
speculate,
like it's
but
in
that's our crew, and we can't tell what stage of arrest or release they are in right now. But it has been remarkable because our camera stayed rolling as we have watched this entire thing. We believe that they are being released. We believe that they are being released and maybe walking out of police headquarters.
Oh,
We'll see in a
okay,
moment.
that looks good to know.
I'm not even sure if they know that our camera is still rolling.
The camera rolls until the battery dies on it. I know about those cameras. I've actually seen one of those before.
Camera, and we think they are walking out. And let's just see what happens here. It looks as though they have just walked out of police headquarters, or at least the police precinct in Minneapolis, after spending the past hour in custody. Our camera has frozen for a second. So as you know, CNN management and our legal team immediately went to work talking
After
to
an
officials in
hour
Minneapolis
in place.
to get our crew released because they were only doing their First Amendment job and their First Amendment right. And it appears that they've been released. Bakari, sorry to interrupt you. I'll give you more information as soon as we get it.
Took about an hour, a little over an hour to get
No, I was just
released.
pointing out the fact that you have a person of color who has all of these protections. He behaved appropriately. I'm using air quotes here. He has the backing of CNN. This is on video, but there's so many people of color who do not have that same infrastructure, who do not have that same backing, whose arrests are not on camera. And then law enforcement in this situation lied. We literally saw before the entire world why there is a mistrust, why there is a fracture. And I'm not sure, I'm not someone who wants to paint law enforcement with a broad brush. However, there is a culture in Minnesota right now that has to be dealt with. Now, we have a scourge of racism that is perpetuating itself throughout the country, from Breonna Taylor and no-knock warrants to the good old-fashioned South Georgia father-son lynching we saw with Ahmaud Arbery, but to now this. And so the way that interaction went down, I mean, you literally, I think that when Black folk in this country saw Omar being arrested, our hearts began to beat loudly. I was screaming to my Omar, put the microphone down. The microphone down. I want him to give them a reason to say that he was arrested, because we saw what happened earlier this week when George Floyd allegedly didn't resist arrest, and we know he did nothing wrong. And so I'm just happy that this situation turned out better than understand.
I have to say that's still our camera, which is still on live right now. This is the camera of our team that was taken into custody by the Minnesota State Patrol. I have to say this is a metaphor for journalism in America right now. The camera's always on, right? We will get the story. And there's Omar right now. We're going to try to call them so they know that we are seeing them right now. Clearly, they've been released. Let's listen for a second to see if we can hear.
It's the same one. Is that a program?
No, I keep calling.
Actually, you know what? I don't want to listen in because if they don't know that if we don't know that we can hear them right now, I want to make sure that we don't hear something, a private conversation. So he's going to talk to our legal department. We'll get on in a second. Instead, though, as we're waiting to hear from Omar, I really do want to step back here. I really do want to talk about what has happened in Minneapolis over the last 12 hours. The buildings burning, the police precinct set on fire, the pain that we have seen from the protesters on the streets there and around the country following the death of George Floyd at the hands of police. Again, an officer with his knee on his neck as he was pleading that he couldn't breathe. And then the news yesterday from Minnesota prosecutors that they are not yet ready to arrest or charge the officers involved in this.
Yeah, I think it's important to keep that context. Before we get to that, I want to say that, you know, as someone who knows Omar has been thinking about him, it's good to see him released. And I can say, I think on behalf of all Black journalists, that it is, we're proud of how he has acted in that situation and the professionalism and work he's been doing throughout the coverage. To your question, this is
some racing later, guys. Some racing
to see it as such
on the channel later.
Right
now, no, no.
The violence did not start.
Might do some racing. Might do a city game.
Buildings or with the destruction of a police precinct. It started with the death of George Floyd, and it started with a police force that communities have said has been unjustly targeting them for a long time. This is something that we see reflected as we have these unfortunate instances over and over. If you go to Georgia or Missouri or Minnesota where these events are happening, they seem like individual flashpoints, but there's always a second-day story, a third-day story that listens to the voices of the community. This has been something that has been building a long time, and that this is a culmination of the governor said it's you've heard things as like it's inexcusable, but it is explained. It is the kind of logical meeting of forces of systemic inequality, of racism, and the lack of justice that these people feel that they have received. And so that has been what we have seen here today. And you throw in the amount of people, you throw in the kind of lawlessness we have seen that the reporters are describing on the ground, and that makes just a dangerous situation all around.
As I said, while I have you, I just want to, because you cover politics, I just want to quickly touch on what the president did at 1 a.m. last night. Mm-hmm. President Trump tweeted, and I don't know if he thinks that this is going to help the situation on the ground, but he called the protesters thugs. He said the thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. I just spoke to the governor and told him the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty, and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts. He says. And I just want your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that obviously is going to be a phrase that we remember kind of politically.
Hey guys, maybe we'll play some game racing later, okay, guys? This is getting ridiculous.
Along with people on both sides, along with kind of send her back. That is a kind of defining moment of the way this president.
Okay, guys, we're staying until 8 o'clock. Then we're gonna shut
as a
down at
political
8, guys,
cudgel.
because it looks like everything's back
This
to.
is something that.
Okay, guys, at 8 o'clock, guys, we're gonna shut down at 8 o'clock, guys. So we're staying on right now until
something that I think is
8
important
o'clock.
to know, even when we think about
We'll shut
political
down.
strategy going
So we'll be on for
forward.
another hour.
This is a president who thinks he can make inroads with black voters. When we saw him previously come out swiftly for a federal investigation of George Floyd's death, call it or break to that death by video. I think anyone who sees that video would be upset. But even politically, we had heard from folks, and particularly Republicans, who think that they can peel off black voters, some of them, as a place for growth going into the election. But you have to wonder if those are good faith efforts when the next day.
Everybody's a city game. I don't know yet, guys. There might be some different guys.
Something that is seen as coded language,
Yes.
Of specifically targeting black folks. And then you have that phrase.
Sorry to interrupt you. We just have word that Omar Jimenez is now available. He is back.
Okay, Omar's back, guys. Omar's back
it is
now.
So good to see you. That
We're staying
was
on, guys.
quite a scene.
We'll stay on
what
then.
you
Staying
just
on, guys.
endured for the past hour. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, we saw a lot of it play out on TV. There seemed to be a little bit of confusion as to what was supposed to or what was allowed to happen. Now, well, as we were reporting, we had been in verbal contact, at least it seemed, with some of the police officers saying, all right, where can we be? We had heard, we played some of it as they were giving out commands for people to clear the area. And we saw that as protesters completely cleared out. And that, of course, came after there was an hour and a half, or at least where we were standing, where there was no sort of police presence. So as people came down, we saw them walking down the block. And whether we're pressed or not, we wanted to make sure we were out of the way. So we basically stepped onto the corner is where we were. And I think the moment before the arrest actually happened was we saw at least one protester or at least someone who was not media sort of run past us, and that person was cornered by State Patrol was the main unit that seemed to be there. And then after that person was apprehended, they then turned toward us. Now, and that was the first moment I can say that police had gotten behind us. So in a sense, we were sort of surrounded by state patrolmen and it seemed like Minneapolis police officers as well. But again, it was that moment where all of a sudden someone runs past and they're already on edge based on the absolute destruction that's all around them. And that arrest happened just right in front of the Minneapolis 3rd Precinct, of course.
We've been on now for an hour.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not sure you know this, but our cameras were not only rolling the whole time you were taken into custody, but the cameras continued to roll, frankly, for the entire ride to the precinct. We could see the picture for the whole time. First of all, let me also say, Omar, what an amazing job you did throughout that. Your
Thank you, guys.
composure,
So you guys will be off in a little bit.
Your ability to keep your cool is a testament to your professionalism, which we already knew about.
Since it's released, we'll go off in a little.
Covering the story.
Yeah, this is
On the
ridiculous.
streets there. You and your team did a terrific job. Now, what we did not hear, even though we saw the transportation, is from the moment you were led away until the moment you were just released. So can you please tell us what took place while you were in custody?
Well, everyone, to their credit, was pretty cordial after that happened. So it seemed, I was actually talking to the officer that was leading me away. I was like, hey, man, we're going to be out here for the next few days. What is the guidance of where we should be? If you don't want us that close, where should we be? Because we were under the impression that that was okay. And he said, look, I don't know, man. I'm just following orders. So I don't know who was potentially, giving that order in that particular moment. But as far as the people that were leading me away, there was no animosity there. They weren't violent with me. We were having conversation about just how crazy this week has been for every single part of the city. And like I mentioned, a lot of these people are on edge. And as we were walking by, we saw a person on the edge of sort of the perimeter that they had formed. And this wasn't a protester. This was just a random, it seemed, citizen who was saying, hey, I need to get back into my place over there. And where were you when this neighborhood completely got destroyed? I mean, we saw where they were. They were in the middle of what became a focal point of anger, passion, violence, even at times. And they were forced to retreat. And then this morning, literally within a matter of minutes, we saw all of them swarm back in, clearing out these protesters from the city level. That's we saw the fire department and police department come in, and then the state patrol was advancing as we were seeing up that street toward our location. Now, where we were standing, basically to my right was where all the protesters were outside or in front of the building that was on fire, and then to our left was where they were advancing. So we were basically just going to try and step back and let them continue to advance down the street. But again, you saw what unfolded there. But as far as what happened in between, again, they were pretty cordial. Once we were in the trucks as well, they were and we're downtown. Obviously, this is the Hennepin County Public Safety Building here. They were all pretty good with us in conversation.
Well, that's a relief, Omar, because you could not have been more professional. You were doing your job by the book. You presented your credentials. You told them that you were a journalist. You told them that you were with CNN. You told them you were live on the air. I mean, you did them the courtesy of explaining that we were live on the air at that moment. And I'm just wondering, after you and your crew were arrested, at what point did they ever say, sorry, that was a mistake? Or when they released you, was there an explanation of that had all been a big misunderstanding or mistake and you're allowed to report?
That conversation may have happened above some of the people that we were with. For us, it was literally a situation of, tell me who you are, as far as identification purposes. Then they left. And they came back and said, you're with CNN, correct? Yes. And then we explained the two other team members that were with me, three, including the security that we had hired for this.
Oh, the security guy. Okay, so the 4 guys
came back and then led us out of the van. We were inside the van handcuffed the whole time. And then we were sat down, waited for a little bit more. And then from there, that was when they eventually came back with our belongings that they had confiscated over the course of this. They unclipped our handcuffs, and then that is when we were let out. And again, to answer your question, there was no sort of, sorry, this was a big misunderstanding, blah, 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 because it seemed that conversation may have happened, but it didn't happen with us in particular. And it's a difference in jurisdiction.
Just one more question, because it was a nerve-wracking moment for all of us watching. You know, Bakari Sellers just described watching it and saying that it was really emotional and heart-pumping for him because he was scared for you. And other people watching, given the backdrop of everything that's happening in Minneapolis, he was scared for you at this moment when you were being taken into custody. You know, I should also let you know that Josh Campbell, who was reporting a block or two away from you, was not taken into custody. He was treated quite politely. Were you scared when this was happening? And do you have any idea why you were arrested and not Josh Campbell?
Well, there was a moment, I would say, minutes after it happened where things started to sink in a little bit. I think, I don't have to tell you, Allison or John, that sometimes when you're in this job, in these scenarios, there's a lot of adrenaline pumping. You're trying to focus and balance so many different factors in a case like this and trying to balance what the actual story is, how the storyline is advancing, while also trying to be aware of our surroundings, which at times can get dangerous. So there's that mentality. And then the arrest happened. I was still trying to communicate with you all as this was going on, because I was just as confused as you. We had been showing our credentials throughout this entire week, and especially in the moments leading up to that. So I couldn't really understand what was going on. But as we were walking away and you're sort of taking in the entire neighborhood that had been completely decimated, again, from the passion of the protesters and unfortunately some of the rioting and looting that we had seen, it did cross my mind that what is really happening here? And the one thing that gave me a little bit of comfort was that it happened on live TV. There's been this, when you talk within the community about, let's just say, what's happened with George Floyd, there's always a discussion that what's happening isn't new, it's being filmed. And that speaks to the power of having something happen on camera, because you can have people speak up for you without you saying anything. And that gave me a little bit of comfort knowing that you guys saw what was happening. I was living what was happening, and the country was seeing what was happening unfold in real time, right before their eyes. You don't have to doubt my story. It's not filtered in any sort of way. You saw it for your own eyes, and that gave me a little bit of comfort. Yeah, but it definitely was nerve-wracking at certain points.
This is not a tree falling in the woods. We all saw it happen before our eyes. And to a large extent, what's happened this entire week in that city is about seeing what's happened before our very eyes. Just hats off.
Maybe
to the
we
CNN
will just
internship
run over
program
there,
also,
guys.
Omar. You were a CNN intern 8 years ago, and so
Wow.
however that training happened between 8 years ago and now, it's certainly
One way or another.
One way or another. Listen, because you were taken into custody, you were not able to do the one thing that I know you actually want to do more than anything else, which is to report, to tell us what you were seeing on the ground there, to tell us what had happened overnight in Minneapolis and why it's so important to the rest of the country. So I want to give you that opportunity now that was taken away while you were apprehended.
Well, better late than never, so this is okay. But I will say, in regards to that scene, it was a very serious situation unfolding there. And one of the main and central, or I would say the biggest thing that stuck out was that there was no first responder presence for hours. I mean, my crew showed up at least at 2:45 in the morning, maybe just after 3 o'clock in the morning. And our first live report wasn't until 5 a.m. And at that point, just before then was when we started seeing law enforcement come in for the first time. So I don't know at what point they may have left. But again, for those hours, there was a building burning almost out of control, no firefighters. There were people looting and running through the streets, no police officers, again, until that flurry of moments. And you talk about what unfolded over the course of the night. The main central image that we saw unfold just past 10 p.m. here was the Minneapolis Police 3rd Precinct that went up in flames, literally in the midst of these protests. And that had already been sort of a central focal point for these protesters. But we saw that go to another level last night, where they had put up fences to try and mitigate any sort of people breaking in. The fences were torn down. The place went up on fire. They were lighting fireworks into that building as well. And if anything, it was a symbol of what the relationship is right now with that particular community here in Minneapolis. The mayor, Jacob Frey, had called in for the National Guard to come and help with this situation. And we saw the manifestation of that demand this morning as they advanced along with state patrolmen. And that presence, that organized presence that they had once they got there, I will say seemed to be the most organized presence I have seen from law enforcement over the course of this week. And I think that's embodied by the fact that these public officials are now saying protesting, that is okay. But when you take that extra step to looting and damaging property, that is when we have to go to an extra level. And I think we saw some of that this morning.
Omar, stand by and stick with us if you would. I know our panel has been also standing by, waiting with bated breath for some sort of resolution. And so I just want to quickly bring in Bakari Sellers. I know you've been on edge, waiting to see if Omar was going to
Okay,
be
guys, we're done.
okay.
We're done, guys. I am about ready to pass out, so we're done. Thank you guys for watching your solution, but we're off. We will be back on later, but right now we're off. Since Omar got released, we're done. So thanks for watching. We're off. I got some stuff to do, so I'll be back on in a couple hours.
Doing his job. You got Laura, who's a brilliant lawyer. You have Stead, who is a top-notch, top-flight journalist.